Oh God. Yeah, it was like cupcakes on the floor again. Sorry.
What do we got? What are we doing? What's going on?
Good interview. So let's start with the track here at Dover. Is this track really a monster to race on?
Monster doesn't begin to cover it, man. There's a good reason that mascot of this place is a monster, though. There's no track that can be more intimidating, more terrifying, frankly, to go around. But that said, it's a thrill ride unlike any other.
Right. You made your first truck start here last year. What lesson did you take most from that race, being here the first time in a truck?
The biggest lesson is that just finishing this place can be an achievement, man. This is one of those places where you really got to have your head on a swivel 24/7 because you don't know when something's going to go wrong. If you can make it through all the melees and be there at the end, you're going to have a good finish.
First time in your career, you have 3 straight top 10s this season. You're riding a wave of momentum here. You're really getting good finishes. So, what do you think? What do you think has brought that onto the team right now? You know, your sudden hit of momentum so far.
I don't think it's any one thing. I think we're just starting to really click well as a unit. We've got Jeff Hensley working with us in the crew chief position this year, and the rest of it's pretty much the same 23 team. So I think we've been working hard to get to this level and above and beyond. So it's nice to see that consistency paying off.
It's a spread out start to the season because you get so many weeks in between each race. So does it make it tougher to kind of build off momentum, or do you come into each race brand new because there's such big gaps?
It makes it hard when you're not racing for weeks at a time because it's just such a stop and start to your momentum. That's why it's kind of nice when you get to the meat of this season. And that's why I'm happy right now. You know, we get to race for a couple weeks solid now and go enjoy ourselves in these trucks.
You've been dipping into the Xfinity Series this year for the first time. So witnessing that type of competition, what has surprised you in that series so far?
No big surprises. It just kind of confirmed what I knew. It's you know, if you want to be up front in the Xfinity Series, you've got to be the real deal because you're not running around against Kyle Busch Motorsports or BKR Brad Keselowski Racing. No, you're against cars that are being fielded by Gibbs and Penske, and it's not William Byron and Christopher Bell, talented though they are driving it. You're driving against Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski and all the other Cup drivers that come down on Sunday. So if you're up front in the Xfinity Series, you're the real deal. So that was a very big lesson to me.
How big a deal is it to be racing around those cup kind of drivers? Do you learn from them on the track, off the track?
Both places. You learn. You try to pick up everything you can everywhere from observing those Cup guys. If you want to beat them on Sunday, you got to be able to beat them on Saturday. So that's it's always a good experience when you can see what that level of competition looks like.
This season in GMS has a lot of variation in different drivers. One of them is Grant Enfinger, did the first two races. So what was that like for you to have him in the garage area for the opening 2 races?
It was awesome working with Grant. He's been with GMS for a little while now. We've fielded him into the ARCA season all year last year, picking up the championship with him. And Grant's such a great guy to be around. It's a joy to have him in the shop every day. But I think it really speaks to the diversity and the strength of GMS this year that we've had as many big name drivers as we've had coming along. We've had Kyle Larson running up front for us at Martinsville. We've had Clint Boyer in our truck at Kansas. These are big name guys, and it shows that we've really arrived as a team. We're a force to be reckoned with every weekend. And you had a Kaz Grelin, he's back this weekend, so he's a really young kid, he's brand new, so have you been kind of teaching him, or how's that been going? Kaz is a really great kid to have around, man. He's a barrel of fun at every racetrack, and it's been great, finally getting to share some of the things that I've learned and experienced in my starts in the truck and pass them on. Anytime I can help speed up someone else's learning curve, that's what I try to do, because I had a couple people helping me out when I was younger in my career, and I remember just the things they did to shorten that learning curve for me were tremendous. So that's something I try and pass on.
Is Johnny Sauter one of those guys who has helped you? He has so much experience in all of NASCAR.
Johnny has just been invaluable this entire season so far. It's great to have someone that's been so successful at every level of the sport in one of your trucks, helping you make the right decisions week in and week out. You can't say enough about the value of a guy like that.
How about like Clint Boyer last week? I mean, yeah.
Same story. Well, when you can get a fresh pair of eyes that's coming down from the Cup Series, and have them run your equipment, that's some of the best feedback you're going to get anywhere, because those guys have a very refined sense of the field they're looking for, and they'll tell you exactly what they think you need to do to get it there, and that's invaluable for R&D.
So you said that people, growing up, they taught you, and how to get into racing and how to be competitive here. Looking back on that, what do you say was the biggest lesson that you learned, coming up into the truck series now?
Man, I think the biggest lesson I really learned was just the value of having cohesiveness with your team. When you can all work as a unit instead of trying to chase off in this direction or that, when you can all pull together in the same direction, you accomplish things so much more effectively, so much faster. You see the results that you're looking for when you can all work together as a team.
People say you're one of the most outgoing drivers in the garage area. Do you agree with that? Disagree?
Oh, I definitely agree with that. You'll know what I'm thinking on any given day because I tell it to you. I'm one of those guys. This was never my intended career path, so I try not to take what I do every day for granted. I wake up and I say to myself, oh my God, I'm a race car driver. How cool is that? And I love what I do, and I wear that on my sleeve. I'm not afraid to tell people, and I think they respond to it. I want people to know I love what I do. This is great. You get to drive race cars for a living. How cool is that? We're the envy of like 99.9% of the population of the whole world, and I'm not supposed to be excited about that.
So, do you wish more people kind of had that enthusiasm like you do?
I do, man. This is a beautiful, wonderful sport. We are all so lucky to be a part of it. I think everyone should be all smiles here constantly. And don't get me wrong, it's serious business. It is serious freaking business when you get out there and racing because there's competition, there's bragging rights, and there's real money on the line. But at the same time, win, lose, or draw, I always remember that next week I'm going to be sitting in a race car again, and that brings a smile back to my face.
Does that help you when it comes to like the tough times on the track? You get crashed out, you get out, and you're like, hey.
It does. It absolutely does. This is, racing is a sport of the highest highs and the lowest lows. And when you find yourself in those low moments, that's what helps me, keep my head on straight to remind myself that, next week I'm going to sit back in the seat and do a job that millions would give their kidneys to do. So probably shouldn't be too upset if we have a rough weekend.
Describe your shirt, Run GMS.
You like that?
Yeah.
It's attention getting, isn't it? I actually, it came to me just one day, no real big flash of inspiration. I must have seen a Run DMC sticker somewhere, and I thought, man, that would look great as a shirt, wouldn't it? It's eye-catching, it's nice to wear around the garage, it lets everyone know exactly who I'm here for.
Yeah. You got the American sunglasses, yeah, you all set?
Absolutely. I try and stand out.
Yeah. Definitely appreciate your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
No problem.